Now, I understand that a lot of content creators are able to read the amount I did in June and some of May in a week. But you know what? I feel like if I'm a slow reader, there are probably other slow readers who also want to see what I read and not like 20 books in a month. This is my June kind of / May wrap up of books I read. These are big books too. Like these aren't just like 100-page books. And I like to think about my books, you know? I made a video recently, like newbie book tag, and someone else commented saying they love to read slowly as well because you're able to chew over what's happening in the story. And I love that mental image of chewing over what is happening. Daphne du Maurier's Rebecca. Now I definitely started reading this in May, but I think I finished it in June. I need to start making like notes of when I'm reading these books because if I'm going to be talking about it on the internet, I need to have a little bit more of a clearer sight on what I'm doing, I guess. I don't know. Now, I absolutely love Gothic novels. And if you're new here, my name is Catherine. I go by Cat Reads the Library. And I took a Gothic literary course in college last September 2025, and I feel like it just absolutely changed my life. I love the tropes. I love what the literature tries to do by examining societal fears, our own fears, just entrapment of society in general. Oh, it's glorious. So I have just been on a little Gothic reading binge since then. And so this is like the most iconic one, Rebecca, by Daphne du Maurier. We have the first wife who dies, tortured husband, and a new wife that comes back to this family mansion, this huge ancestral home in England called Manderley, which I love to say Manderley, but it's Manderley. I recently watched the Netflix Rebecca movie that they made a couple of years ago, and it was okay. I don't think it does justice to the angst you get at the end of the book when you find out what has happened to Rebecca. I am going to try to leave this as spoiler-free as I can, which I don't usually do. I don't think you're gonna get this big, oh my God moment, like, wow, I didn't know that's what happened. And like I was saying, it's at the end where they're just going through the events. We're talking to like this inspector. Well, at least the husband and our narrator are. Oh my God, it gets you in the chest, the anxiety of the order of events, how they're going to go. There's a lot of characters. There's embarrassment that happens for our main narrator, which we never learn the name of, which is a very interesting, like, writer technique. We don't even know her name. What is her identity? She doesn't even know. And she gets absorbed by the haunting presence of the first wife. I don't think you're supposed to really like any of these characters. They're all, well, I love the dog Jasper. So adorable. I loved the food in this book. I absolutely bought some marmalade after hearing them having it almost every breakfast. And yes, marmalade with buttered toast is divine. Go try it yourself. I think I need to reread this book because it was very dense. I think there's a lot of probably foreshadowing and metaphors and symbolism that I overlooked because I was just interested to see what happened. It's such a cult classic that, you know, sometimes when you're reading, you just get caught up in it and you want to know what happens. Really enjoyed this book. It lived up to expectation. I think I can totally get more out of it through a second and, dare I say, third reread. I have a whole playlist called A Love Letter to Shirley Jackson because I am just dedicated to reading all of her work. I love her so much. The way she writes is fantastic. Now, I have talked about this book, The Bird's Nest by Shirley Jackson, in some shorts, and I also talked about it in a recent video that I did about the first chapter and how it reveals so much about the book. Now, this is one of Jackson's earlier novels, and we're dealing with a young woman. I thought her name was Rebecca. Her name is Elizabeth. She's experiencing multiple personality disorder. And this is not written to be an accurate account of multiple personalities. I think it's more the personalities that we can get through trauma, grief, and repression. And if you go into this book with that in mind, I think you will really enjoy it. It can be a very confusing book sometimes. Like our main character goes to New York and she has these really weird interactions with other people where it's like, I don't think that would happen. And I think, again, you will hear this in probably every one of my videos, but this would be a great reread as well. It's not it's almost 300 pages, so it is a bit of a longer book. It's a book you pay attention to. It's not necessarily like a beach read, but yeah, I love Shirley Jackson. All of her books I am on the hunt to get. I don't see a lot of people talking about this online. Her favorite of mine is for sure The Haunting of Hill House. But I just love being in any world that Shirley Jackson writes. I don't know which video will be going up first, either this one or the short story video I'm doing about like RM from BTS's reading list. But I read some short stories, which is great because you get through them really quick. And I actually just finished filming this video. So yes, I am wearing the same top and have the same makeup, same hair. This is literally 20 minutes later. But it's the two short stories, The Ones Who Walked Away from Omelas by Ursula K. Guin. That was written in 1973. And then I also read Isabel J. Kim's 2024 short story, Why Don't We Just Kill the Kid in the Omelas Hole? Now this is philosophical fiction, so it's meant to ask our morals and how we live our lives. And what about consequences, right? And the first one is this utopia where everyone is doing well, the streets are beautiful, it's a summer's day and they're celebrating a summer festival and they're gonna have a horse race and there's flowers being passed out to the attendants and everyone's laughing and no arguments and life is great. But there's a reason for that. And it's dark and it's open. It's an open, known phenomena in omelas. And I'm not going to spoil that for you in this video. You can go watch the other video or read this yourself. It's quite short. The second story by Isabella Kim is on the internet, so you can go read that. I highly suggest that you read the first one first though, for obvious reasons. It came first, it's what the second story is based off of. And the second story adds more of a modern tale to it with social media, performative social justice on social media, political arguments that then go nowhere. I think short stories should be talked about a lot more on social media. They can be more accessible, I think, for people if you don't have a lot of time to get through a whole novel. And like the next novel I'm going to talk about, there's sometimes where I forget the characters. Especially with these two, they really force you to think about life in modern society and just what are your morals with it? Are you just a part of the system or do you walk away? Which is also sometimes just as bad because then you're doing nothing. I read these last summer in a college course, so it was really nice to bring them back out and get sad again about these stories. This was in one of my recent book hauls that I just did, and I will try to link that video down below as well in the description box. But The Raven Scholar, I haven't read a lot of fantasy. I don't think I've read any fantasy this year. I read some sci-fi by Brandon Sanderson, but I'm almost halfway done this book and I am enjoying it. There's a lot of characters to keep track of. I'm having a great time. So there's games where our scholar has to prove herself. There's history. There's a bit of magic. The magic isn't overly explained. Like you begin to understand it just through reading the book and going through the events. There's death. There's a mystery about how that person died. Yeah, I'm having a good time reading this book. Like I'm finding I'm able to get through it. I think some characters are not who they seem. We have a character named Cain and I am suspicious of him. I just took a Religions of the West course through college and now understanding a bit more about the Bible and Cain and his brother Abel, right? So I think there's a reason why this man's name is Cain. I enjoyed the writing of part one a lot. It felt quite classical fantasy. And then when that is over and you go into part two and we get more of our perspective from the scholar, her name's Nima, It feels a little more like a modern fantasy telling, you know, just in terms of like the jokes and how they speak, the swearing, the humor. It feels very modern, and I don't know how I feel about that yet, but I really enjoy reading about like the palace grounds. We have different houses. I don't think they're called houses. What are they called? They're all animals. So there's like the monkey palace, the ox palace, the raven palace, and then there is like the Temple Island, Imperial Library. There's dragon people. And so this has just been a fun read, and this is the first book. So sometimes I know it's going to be a trilogy. The Eternal Path Trilogy, book 1. I believe this came out this year. Oh no, it came out in 2025. Okay. Printing 7/2026. Huh, interesting. Anyways, that's not interesting for you to watch. Oh, I didn't even say who this was by. Antonia Hodgson. So I'm really enjoying this, and this will be in my next monthly reading wrap up, which I will tell you what I think about the end. I totally recommend this. That's going to be a quick video. I know there's some content creators I follow and it's like an hour-long video. I don't really listen to audiobooks because I find that my brain wanders and then I have no idea what is going on. But just letting you know what my reading habits are. As a slower reader, getting through, I think, 3.5 books, I feel like I got through more, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, I am just going to have a fabulous reading summer. So I hope you subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to let me know so I can maybe make more videos like this, or should I try some other things? I hope you have a great book to read, and I have some other videos that you can watch as well. So go to my main page, hit subscribe, and take a little look. I will see you in the next video.